Hi, I'm Beikopin, and you're watching Rappler. In this episode of Rappler Talk, we'll be talking about creativity and the kind of crazy ideas that sell in more ways than one. If you live on the internet, I'm sure you've seen our guests' work. Their ads have entertained, shocked, and perplexed people. So please welcome the team behind the ad agency that keeps going viral, Gigil. We have Badong and Herbert, founding partners of Gigil, and we have Jake and Estorza, managing partner of Gigil. Hi guys! Welcome to Rappler.
Hello.
Okay, so ang dami ko lang sinabi, di ba, na viral kayo and the ads that have perplexed some people. But let's go to the very beginning. Like, how did Gigil even come to be?
Oh, Bert?
Okay, sige. Hindi. Okay, so we came from a multinational company, no? Ako, Jake, and Badong. Pero Jake, nasa iba pa siyang agency before. Magkasama kami sa J. Walter Thompson naman ni Jake before. Pero sa YNR, boss ko si Badong, siya yung nagyaya talaga sa akin, no? merong kumukuha kay Badong na big agency na sabi, kung hindi siya kukunin si Badong, ako kukunin. Tapos sabi ni Badong na, start na tayo na magtayo. So yun, doon nag-start. Hindi pa alam ng asawa ko, umuo na kagad ako kay Badong. No? Ganun ka. No? Kasi fan ako ni Badong since junior days ko pa. Sila yung Hall of Famer si Badong sa hindi nakakaalam. Hall of Fame awardee si Badong sa advertising industry, no, sa Creative Guild. So siya yung pinapanood ko laging umaakyat sa stage. So yun, kaya nung niyaya niya ako, di ako nagdalawang isip.
Pero ngayon alam na ng asawa mo, no?
Sana naman, di ba?
Tapos nung our second year naman, second year, no, Badong? Na yung our third partner, si Isabel Problemante, nag-migrate siya, pumunta sa, saan ba, Badong? Sa Colombia. Oo. Then, ayun, naalala ko, isa sa pinaka-cool din na creative-driven na accounts na kilala ko rin, si Jake from JWT Days. Yun, siya naman yung niyaya namin para sumama on our second year. Yeah. So yan. So yan na yung start ng Gigil. Pero may mga nahugot kami, si Gino Cruz, isa yun sa mga first na kasama namin sa team din.
Yeah, and a junior partner as well.
Yeah.
Parang Avengers, gano'n.
Yeah.
From different agencies and different companies. Was there ever also a hesitation? Kasi syempre parang, di ba, kumbaga you're starting, well, not really from scratch. Because like you mentioned, you guys are names already in the industry, but was there still that fear na parang, technically we're starting something very new in a field that, you know, has already a lot of established companies also?
Yeah. It's something entrepreneurial, and I don't know with Bert, but I don't have an entrepreneurial bone in my body. So it was really something that it appeared to me as sink or swim. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we really had to give it our all and maybe burn ourselves the first couple of years, just to make sure that everything is stable. And then afterwards, ride the wave. So hindi siya madaling gawin. But we were thinking, had we taken the offer, it would have been the same thing over again, and we would be reporting to other people and doing their bidding. And so we were thinking we can do this ourselves. So why not, open our own gig, start our own gig. So.
In my case, I think the decision wasn't as difficult as it was for Badong and Bert when they started off Gigil, because when they invited me, Gigil already had made a name for itself considerably. It was around already for about a year. And when Herbert messaged me if I was open to joining Gigil, I think the decision was a bit easy for me, in the sense that I knew Herbert from before. We've worked before together. He was my creative partner on a couple of other brands in our previous agencies. And Badong, I worked on a couple of projects also while I was at my previous agency, Jail.
Jake was our client.
Yeah, I was a client.
One of the first two clients of Gigil. So he would present Jake. Yeah.
it was I can imagine the thoughts that were in Badong's and Herbert's heads when they started off Gigil. Thankfully, those weren't my thoughts when I joined Gigil because Gigil was already around at that time, so it was a bit easier for me. Yeah.
Pero for me naman, calculated risk. So,
Yeah.
sa akin kasi ako meron pa akong banda, Six Cycle Man in Moonstar 88. Somehow, nag-cut kami ng sweldo ni Badong eh. Si Badong 1/5 ng sweldo niya, 1/5.
Oh, wow.
Ako 1/2 ng sweldo ko, no? Para lang mag-survive yung agency. Ako, kumakayod ako sa Moonstar 88 Six Cycle Mine. Si Badong talagang nag-risk kasi 1/5 ng sweldo tapos wala pa siyang business na ngayon. Meron na siyang empanada, ensaymada. Yun. So yun.
Ako tama bibig.
Pero may anak kasi ako eh. So yun yung sobrang yung family ko iniisip ko. Pero calculate ko na yun na hindi. Gagawin namin yung best namin.
Well, obviously, it is clearly worth it years later, and we'll dive into yung current, well, not exactly, well, current. A few weeks ago lang yung release ng one of the ads that we'll be talking about. But was there like a grand idea behind Gigil? Like aside from you wanted to start something that was your own already, and not go through not be in the same work environment, I guess, that you've always been used to, and make it your own this time. Like, was there a grand concept when you opened Gigil?
We just wanted to do good work. At least for me, I wanted to do good work. Also make our ideas make a difference in people's businesses. That was about it. Yeah.
Naging consistent lang kami ever since naman no? Na we're creative-driven company. Parang idea yung importante sa amin and partnership with clients ang dugo talaga nito, no? And the name itself din, no? Gigil, 'di ba? Somehow it's all about the passion, no? Yun yung Badong, yung sa mo, namin.
So marami kaming name studies for the company, like Plan B, like
Toyo.
Naunala kami ng restaurant. Kasi Toyo, crazy. It gives flavor to everything. So parang baka meron doon. Pero patis, also we had Chickenini. We had that the first round as well, Jake, at Chickenini.
Yeah.
Because we're establishing a relationship with people who potentially can buy the brand. So a relationship between the brand and the customer. But we focused on Gigil kasi yung parang we think passion really makes a difference. Parang there's a saying nga, di ba, Bert, ang sabi mo?
Maraming magaling pero ilan lang yung gigil talaga to make things happen. Yun nga kasi ibang klase rin ang advertising, maraming frustrations, pero once na gigil ka, magba-bounce back ka, babalik ka sa client na with better ideas. So naging mindset kasi yung company, and very Pinoy. Yun yung din gusto namin. Tagalog, diba, Gigil?
Yeah, you can't translate that into English. We're fiercely Filipino. We know that we have what it takes. I mean, Pinoys are good, so we want to stick with that and prove that it's true. The sound of Gigil also is giggle, so hopefully we have fun doing it. So in a word, being able to capture a multitude of meanings. No? So we zeroed in on Gigil.
Yeah, and also yung in terms of you were asking about the vision and the mindset of the company. I think what has developed over the past couple of years is the mindset that one, we want to create really great creative ideas, but secondly, we want to make those ideas really work for the brand and for our client. So they're not not just creative for creativity's sake, but really things that really move the business for the brand, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for more than anything else, right? So parang that sort of has become also part of our vision, also running the company, running the agency for Gigil.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make a difference whether it's a flyer or a film. We are all and try to make it good.
Kahit calling card. Can you imagine, Bea, yung calling card namin 1 year bago lumabas. Kasi sobrang pinag-isipan yung calling card namin, no? So consistency and even sa name. But nung una, gusto ko pa na Hernandez Abesames eh. Ayaw ni Badong.
Yeah, why sound like a law firm, right? So sound like something that's different. Because we're in the business of branding, so I guess our brand has to be different from all of the other AKAs
Yeah.
as well.
You guys mentioned it na rin, na I think advertising is very unique in that it must be creative, but like you mentioned, there's also I don't know if you would think of it as a restriction to that creativity, or is that a challenge to that creativity? Kasi nga, yun nga, at
Which
the
one?
end of the day, because I mean, diba, at the end of the day, you have all these ideas, but yung goal is still for the client, for the brand to benefit from those creative ideas. So like, do you look at it as a hindrance to creativity, or is it a prompt for creativity?
It's actually an enabler, Bea. Our creativity is the enabler. It's a thing that brings us the great business results for the clients. Kasi doon kami napapansin. More than us, the brand, doon napapansin
Right.
yung brand, yung produkto, and because of that, people buy brand. So, for instance, and I'm sure we'll get into that later, case studies like relating to, let's say, RC Cola and all the other brands we've worked on. They were very creative. They were very different. They were, unconventional, but they delivered the business results for the brand because they were creative, not in spite of the fact that they were creative. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yung
Right, since you
limitation, yung
Go ahead.
limitation, Bea, ano naman siya, no? Nagiging instrument pa nga minsan siya, no? Kaya
Right.
nagiging creative once you embrace the limitations, yung mga limitations, mas nagiging unique pa. Kasi yung idea mas nagiging unique the more na may mga hindrances. Kasi bagong problema. So, nagiging
Right.
bago yung results. Yeah.
Right, because of the problem solving part of it. Okay, since you mentioned it already, RC Cola, it's the ad that I think made everyone go crazy during quarantine. A lot of people loved it. Some people were truly confused by it. I think until now, may mga hindi pa rin nagigets or tinatry nilang igets yung idea. So like, siguro zooming out from that muna, like what's the creative process even like in Gigil?
Badong?
So pretty much like how we've done it in the past, we get a client brief. They tell us about the business issue or the business problem, and so we digest it, and then we think of a strategy to be able to meet the problem. So RC Cola, we found out that there is a need for an equity for RC Cola. Parang it didn't really stand for anything in the minds of the consumer. For the longest time, the advantage of RC Cola was the price. But
Right.
in the advent of the sugar tax, that was eroded. And so, paano na? What does RC Cola stand for? Um,
Yes.
if it's not in the product, it's soda, it's soft drinks. So it's commoditized. If it's not in the product, perhaps the answer is in the person that you want to drink RC Cola, which is Gen Z. And so we investigated Gen Z, and we have a lot of Gen Z guys in the agency. And we discovered that the mentality, the attitude of Gen Z guys can be described as, parang they do stuff for sometimes no reason at all. Parang wala lang. Basta ginagawa nila, masarap eh. Parang ganyan. Gusto lang gawin. So we thought maybe to establish a relationship between RC and the Gen Z, maybe we can like incarnate that particular attitude in a brand. And, basta. And because it's basta, it's open to anything, any execution that's crazy, because there doesn't have to be a reason any way for any execution or any story. So basta RC, kasi masarap ang RC. Yeah. That is a thinking.
Yeah. Akala lang nila walang intelligence or walang behind that. Pero ang daming isipan. Can you imagine talagang sobrang daming pinesent nila Badong, maraming strategy na nangyari before the final output, no?
Yeah.
And akala nyo lang na hindi siya pinag-isipan, pero pinag-isipan yung hindi siya pinag-isipan. So, yun eh. Pero lahat naman ng Bea, yung tanong nyo, paano yung process? Lahat siya based on it's either human through product through cultural truth, no?
True.
Hindi
Yeah.
hindi naman kami humuhugot sa wala lang, no? And yun kaya nagiging effective din siya usually kasi pag yung truth na nilalabas mo, interesting, no? So yun. So yung attitude ng Gigil. Talagang ano ba yung totoo? Ano yung bottom line?
Yeah.
We are solving business problem pero we try to solve it in unique manner. And binibigay din namin yun sa client, no? Kasi sobrang iba rin yung client mag-isip. And yun. Hindi lahat ng client kayang tumalon with those kind of
Right.
strategy, no?
Yeah.
Right.
Tapos
I was
swerte
gonna
rin kami
say.
kasi in the category, parang nobody was into humor. Some of the guys are into music, some guys are into like, more rational
Business.
stuff.
Or taste test, di ba?
But we're talking to young people, and what better way to connect with young people than to,
Humor.
be humorous. Yeah. So we latched on it and grabbed it for ourselves.
Pero Bea, hindi lahat ng Giggle stuff, pag tinignan mo, hindi lahat humor. It depends on the
Yeah.
on the problem. Nangyari lang
Beef.
yung mga nag-resonate lately because of the pandemic probably, they look
Okay.
for the escape is
Yeah.
humor, di ba? Pero in reality, we solve our business problem, yung mga clients problem namin in ano yung pinaka-appropriate or ano yung pinaka-kaya nilang isugal.
Right.
Kasi we present almost like 3 to 5 ideas every presentation. And lahat 'yon iba-ibang angles, no?
Right.
I think what's key about what we try to do is that we try to come upon the insight, and then once we've got the insight, we try to express the idea in a way that nobody probably else will express it. No, we try to express it in a very unconventional manner. I said that's really our jobs as people sort of advertising. I use the word advertising loosely, but as people really trying to communicate the message about the product or the brand, we say it in a way that's very different, and because that's the only way that consumers will notice it when it's different, when it's fresh, when it's unconventional.
Okay, Bea, mayroon din ako re-reveal isa. Ang isang laging tanong namin nila Badong naman in creative standard is magiging headline ba to ng Rappler? I-pick upin ba to ng Rappler? Yeah, seryoso.
Totoo yan. That's true.
Seryoso. That's our standard. Gumagawa kami ng fake headline pero hindi naman na lalabas Pero that's the standard, Bea.
Right.
Kung ganito ka interesting yung idea, susulat ba ni Bea to sa headline nila?
I have to say though, that RC Cola ad, I think one of the, hindi ko na ipapangalan, one of our managers, I don't know if it was a personal chat or a group chat, parang, tas nag-sad face lang siya, hindi ko gets. So I'm like,
That's it.
It's interesting though, because diba, parang this person naman. Yeah, I mean, but how did you react though I feel like there were so many thought pieces, so many Twitter threads, talking again about RC Cola pa rin. Parang ang daming Twitter thread, ang daming analysis, kung ano-anong theory ang hinuhugot over the concept behind the ad. How did you react to that?
Sobrang crazy yung numbers. Jake, di ba? As in, nag-report na yung client, even sa mga third party, nag-number 1 pa nga siya worldwide na sa beverage category. Nag-number 1 siya na campaign na pinakamaingay that time. And ilang almost 100 plus articles about it. Yeah. And it was even picked up by Fast Company.
Yeah, Fast Company. That was
it was featured on Ellen, right? I think they played the clip.
And all of them are free medias.
Yeah.
So sobrang crazy. Jake?
A couple of Australian websites also picked us up, and they also wrote up about it. So ang dami. Obviously, number 1 trending topic on Twitter as well. So there were really a lot of comments and thoughts about it, and we're happy. Meaning, people really engaged. It became a pop culture phenomenon. I mean,
right.
In fact, if you look back at last year, and you sort of recap the events of last year,
dude. I think nasa level siya ng banana cake.
Yeah.
Nasa cheese pandesal ganun.
Nasa iba't ibang nasa iba't ibang siya, top 10 kahit hindi siya lang yung advertising.
Para siyang marker ng 2020 Parang how to tell the months apart.
Pero kaya ang daming preparation din namin doon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kasi we invited Doc Gia then to help us sell the idea kasi Doc Gia of yung si Doc Gia season
Yeah.
kasi parang
Mental
for the
health
longest
advocate, no?
mental health
Mhm.
advocate for the longest time takot yung mga brands magpatawa kasi ay insensitive daw, insensitive. But one of our talks kasi we have a session with Doc J every now and then sa Gigil. Ang isang niya is people are now sobrang stress na ayaw na nilang makita yung COVID on
Right.
anything aside from news.
Right. Right.
No? So, naghanap na sila ng escape. Kaya nga sobrang lakas ng Netflix. Kasi
Right.
naghanap
Right.
sila ng escape. No?
Right.
So, ayun, na-convince namin yung client. And yung client din naman, especially the younger ones, sila yung, hindi, naniniwala sila na papatok to. But Doc Gia really helped a lot on that particular,
Right.
especially the RC Cola.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, to add to that, I think that's why a lot of the funnier ads that you make are the ones that go especially viral, because it's millennials and Gen Zers and younger than Gen Z meron na bang nag-internet. Parang it's the currency of the internet right now
Yeah.
'di ba?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yung surreal na mga nakakatawa, yung hindi mo talaga gets pero gets mo rin kahit paano yung humor. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I see Bert touched on it a while back yung parang yun nga yung parang we try to imagine Rappler covering the piece, and if it's imaginable then perhaps it's a big idea kasi parang the intention really is to move culture,
Right.
perhaps culture talk about it because it can only be very good for the brand. That means the brand has earned free media for itself in terms of talking about its benefits, making people know about it because news and online cover it for free.
Yeah.
So that's an objective every time we do work. Free media is very very important. I think from among all of the ads in 2020, the one that was amplified the most was really RC Cola because of Ellen. So that's important. And when that happens, when you move culture, you move sales because you move people, and that's what happened with RC Cola. I mean, there has been a spike in terms of sales of RC
A week after.
week
Yeah.
after each of the launches.
And to be
So
accurate, sorry, go ahead, Badong. Go ahead.
I'm good. Yeah.
I was going to say to be more accurate about that, it's a spike of about 70% sa sales
Right.
ng
Right.
Cola, no? So when before that people weren't talking much about RC, after the campaign came out, not only did people talk about it, they bought the product, and that's the most important thing. We've done our jobs, and I guess the clients are also happy about that. They're definitely happy about that fact that people bought it after it became a national sort of phenomenon. Yeah.
Pero Bea, before naman hindi lang, napansin na namin yun Kaya medyo malakas loob namin. Kasi even Orocan,
Mm.
can you imagine Orocan, every campaign namin na nagva-viral, nagsisold out it's either yung tabo nila or yung nagsisold out yung kulit kantina nila.
Cantina.
No? So, nagmo-move talaga, no?
Yeah.
Once na-entertain mo yung tao, they want to support you Actually, akala mo lang may mga bumibili kahit di nila kailangan Jake,
Correct.
di ba?
Correct.
May mga kahit mayayaman, bumibili ng Orocan Kulit Kantina kahit di nila kailangan. Kasi they were entertained.
Dun sa video,
Yeah. So, that's the effect, effect of
Yeah, but
advertising.
yeah, we want to make a case for ideas. Really, parang ideas are really the alas of clients. So they shouldn't be scared to make use of or to ask the help of their ad agencies to come up with really new ideas that culture will notice or will land in culture. It can only be good for the brands because the brands will sell
Right.
if they do so.
At mas mahal ngayon maging safe. Yun lagi na sinasabi. It's mas expensive pa ngayon, mas risky pa nga ngayon maging safe. Kasi sayang. Gumastos ka
Pera
pa
mo.
1M, walang papansin.
Gets. Yeah.
Unlike before kasi sa TV, no choice yung mga tao to see commercials, di ba?
Mm,
Ngayon, sayang yung 1M mo na video or less than, sayang yun kasi skip lang nila yun, di ba?
Yeah.
right.
Ano laban mo
That's a
sa TikTok ni Mimiya, di ba?
that's an
Oo, wala.
interesting insight because nga on the internet, you're not forced on a
Yeah.
specific screen. Like literally one screen can switch
Right.
throughout three different screens, five different screens at the same time. But
Yeah.
okay, so RC Cola was created pre-pandemic, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole production for it.
Yeah.
But how has the pandemic changed how Gigil works or how creativity works in Gigil? I understand that you guys are all working from home, just like us. So like paano like may nagbago ba? Is it harder or is it easier to be creative when we're all stuck at home and
Ah,
talking to screens?
Ako, specifically for RC Cola, it helped the campaign dahil nakareero pa namin yung CG niya. No? So we had more time doing the CG. Kasi I can imagine ba dong Jake, kung na-release namin yun nung
Yeah.
summer that time, baka hilaw pa yung
So,
CG.
Yes.
So kudos to Riot, the Riot people, and si Direk. Nakareer pa namin yung look niya. No, so pero in terms of working naman, ano ba dong? Ito si Badong kasi ako extrovert ako no. So feeling ko depende sa no, sa personality. Si Badong kasi introvert, ako extrovert. Si Jake
Si Jake,
ako
balance.
balance. Si
yeah,
Jake yung balance namin.
in between.
Ikaw mo na Badong. Kasi si Badong masaya kasi nasa bahay lang.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And then parang anywhere naman that you have your laptop, just as long as you have your laptop and you have like instant messaging, and we have Zoom. I mean, the magic of Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Parang it all landed on our laps March, so that really makes work happen. So it actually has made us rethink our plans for the office, that we don't really need a big office when we go back in a couple of months time, because this thing works. I mean, working from home works, and let's make this setup work for us also, in a sense. Yeah, so I think qualitatively it hasn't really changed the way we work, just as long as, I guess, you put the same effort into trying to eke out ideas for clients.
Sa akin naman, sa personality ko, no, kasi lagi ako nag-brainstorm sa labas ng bahay. Ang meeting place namin ng creatives ko sa restaurant, no, or sa coffee shop, ganun. So, yun lang yung nami-miss ko, na yung lakad, ganun. Yun yung, kasi parang kailangan ko ng outlet no. Yung outdoors ang ko Pero ang maganda ngayon, nawala na yung traffic, no.
Yeah.
Yun lang naman, no. 2 hours din yun. 2 to 4 hours na
Well,
save namin.
2 hours going to the office, 2 hours going.
So ayun yung na save namin. So yun
Can you
naman.
imagine that's how we lived before and we accepted that fully?
Actually, malaking bagay yun, yung sinasabi ni Bert na traffic. For on two levels. One is the one going to the office and coming home. The other one is going to clients' offices and going back to the office. So so here's the thing, and this is both a good and a bad thing about it. That in a day, siguro we'd have like 3 or 4 client meetings because you'd have to shuttle for
Oh, no.
EDC.
So ngayon ilan na?
Ngayon, pwede ka na mag-ano ng 12 meetings.
12?
I mean, I may be exaggerating, I may be not, but
In a day?
You can really schedule a lot of meetings.
Yeah, agree.
You're able to cover more ground, really. You're able to
Oh
cover
gosh.
like, after this Zoom meeting ends the next hour.
Yeah.
Or the next minute, meron na kaming
Tama.
ulit, meeting. So it's both a good and a bad thing. At first, we were concerned that it might hamper productivity, but if at all, it probably has increased our productivity because we're able to cover more ground. But yun na nga, we'll also need to balance that off because we'll need to rest a bit also every now and then.
Right.
But like Herbert mentioned, we also long for the physical proximity with colleagues and office mates and clients, really being able to interact with them face to face. But that we'll have to wait for a few more months till we get our vaccines. But for now, this thing seems to work for us naman. So yeah.
Oh, ang good news pa, Bea, yung mga creatives namin or accounts na nasa outside Manila, wala, pwede na. I mean, hindi na limited kumuha ng Gigil
Yeah.
from Metro Manila.
Right.
Meron kami nasa Tarlac siya, doon siya nag-work.
Right.
Merong nasa Quezon. Alam mo yun, hindi
Right.
nila kailangan pumuntang Manila. And
Right.
even our clients din, no? May mga
Right.
kliyente kami, the Netflix people are in
Sure.
Singapore. Can you
Right.
imagine?
Right.
Kung normal times to, baka every weekend lumilipad kami papuntang Singapore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is not
Sayang.
bad.
Which is not a
Not
bad
bad.
thing. I would argue that's a perk.
Pero ngayon, di ba, may yung mga clients namin, kahit outside Manila, Visayas, biglang na-flatten na lahat. Lahat po
Right.
pwedeng
Right.
maging nasa ahensya. And yun
Yeah.
nga, we're looking for sa Visayas and Mindanao
Right.
na
Which
mga
means
creatives.
more voices within Gigil and also more
Yes.
voices working with Gigil. But I have to ask, kasi nabanggit nyo nga, yun nga, parang it's a good thing that we don't have to suffer the commute toil in Metro Manila because all of us are based in Metro Manila. But at the same time, like, ano yung, may nagbago, kasi parang yun nga, at the end of the day, you take from the human experience. How do you get over that ngayon na yung human experience more or less limited online?
Galing.
Is there, may tweaking ba yun? Or parang, is it just a matter of, finding it in a different way now?
Well,
Online.
yeah, and also for one, every MWF, meron kaming 30-minute morning sessions just to say hi, hello,
Right.
with the team, and also to share, award-winning work that we wanna share with the rest of the team. So that sort of helps keep the culture alive, keep ties, keep relationships alive. In a professional sense. And aside from that, we every other Friday meron din kami parang every other Friday night may parang games in the evening, a few drinks. So those help. They don't totally replace the physical interaction, obviously, but at least they help. We'd like to think they help. They help with on the culture of the agency.
Yeah. And then we're trying to reach naman people who also are in a work from home kind of a setup. I mean, that's the human condition.
Right.
And so we're trying to sell products or services in that particular context. That's their context as well. And so what we feel we make use of so that the product we're selling will be relevant to them, their context of work from home. So it still is helpful. I mean, it's a universal human condition. So we sort of like deploy it.
Pero
client objectives.
Pero the more na we encourage din yung mga creatives and accounts namin to have life after office hours, no? So yun yung namin objective namin. Parang ngayon tinatry namin i-tweak talaga kasi kailangan talaga magkabuhay sila outside advertising, no?
True.
Yun yung dadalhin mo sa loob ng advertising the life experiences nila, no? So yun, we encourage them to have passion outside advertising. Yun nga dati ang namin volunteerism, mayroon kaming mag-volunteer kayo some causes na malapit sa inyo. Kailangan talaga yun yung in-encourage namin.
Kasi parang paano may kukwento ang buhay kung
wala
hindi
kang
mo siya binubuhay yung buhay mo. Buhay yung buhay mo. Sorry, my examples are all your more humorous campaigns and ads. And if people check your website, they'll see that you've actually done a handful of other campaigns that they might not associate with the humor that people might think when they think Gigil. Now, I just want to dive a little bit into the Netflix campaign because that one, I didn't know because it was you when it first came out, but I had an inkling that this has a vibe. This has a vibe that seems familiar to me. So yung naman to me kasi yung dating sa akin ng ad, it was able to capture the weird humor that's developing on the internet right now. Is a certain segment of the internet population in the Philippines. Can you tell us a little bit about how those cupids came to be?
Yung yung dry humor, yung sinasabi mo, no? The dry humor, no? Kasi ang Pinoy iba-iba talaga yung, I mean, akala kasi nung ibang client na yung may specific humor yung Pinoy. Pero
Right.
right now kasi, exposed na yung mga Pilipino sa labas, di ba? Kahit Visayas, Mindanao, akala nila hindi magigets ng mga Pinoy yung dry humor. Baka nga mas advanced pa nga yung sa Cebu eh. Di
Ay,
ba?
mas advanced kami. Bisaya.
Oh, yun.
Superior.
Din.
Joke
Si,
lang.
Grabe nga.
si Jake din,
I'm
no?
Bisaya.
Yeah, totoo yun. Totoo yun.
Taga CDO. Represent.
Hi, sir. I'm from Butuan.
Ayan. So, alam mo, magugulat kayo, no? The kind of humor ng mga Pilipino, sobrang lalim na. Because of the internet, because of the
Right.
YouTube, yung Facebook, TikTok, iba na eh. Ina-acknowledge lang ng Gigil to maximize ano yung available, di ba? And we have a very good director din, no? Bigay rin namin yun sa director namin, si Marius Talampas. Isa siya sa mga good comedy director na nakita namin. Na mahirap kasi ma-achieve yung dry humor eh.
Right.
And yung client, buti na lang bata. In terms of bibigay ko din, okay, Bea, ibibigay ko to sa client namin sa Netflix sa Singapore. Kasi pag nakita mo yung offline edit nun, kung ordinary kang client, sasabihin mo, ay boring, walang sounds. Ay boring.
Oo nga.
Oh my God, ba't ganun? Di sila nakatawa. Ba't ang seryoso nila? Hindi yata ito nakakatawa, direct. Di ba? Hindi. Ang ginagawa ng Gigil kasi, we sell the idea to our clients, pero we open up the treatment sa director. Kasi kaya kami nag-hire ng director. Baka akala nyo nakakatawa taga-Gigil. Hindi naman. Magaling kami
Konti lang, slight lang.
Magaling kami sa idea, pero
Okay.
binibigay na namin sa mga katrabaho namin kung ano yung strength nila, di ba? Ba't namin bibigay sa director yung kung feeling namin kami kaya mag-direct, di ba? So yun, tiwala. Ang good news, yung mga kliyenteng napupunta sa Gigil, may tiwala din sa Gigil.
Right.
So kami din, may tiwala din kami sa mga partners namin from production side, from the director, from casting, yan. So, lahat yan nag-work. Lahat may tiwala. Tapos yung client may tiwala. So, bibigay mo yung best mo. In short, yun yung nangyayari for Gigil dun sa Cupido nga na medyo dry humor, no? Kakaiba. And nag-work siya for overnight. 1 million overnight. Ngayon, 3M na siya. Organic,
Right.
Organic na walang boosting. So, yun. Nag-work. And mahaba siya, pero maraming tao nagtatapos.
Yeah, I mean, because it was very much one of the stars of the ad, si Pipa. It was Pipa's humor na mas blown up and syempre mas maganda yung production. Syempre kasi cellphone lang naman yung gamit ni Pipa.
Bea, ang una namin binigay doon, yung original board doon, isang comedian lang yun, si Red Olero. Yung kliyente nagsabi, this is awesome, sabi ng kliyente namin. I want more comedy. Comedians. I want more comedians. So, humingi siya. As in, so yung idea din and pag-angat din ng mga ideas namin, partnership yan. Yung mga clients din, di ba? Yeah. They recognize, ang ganda ng idea. Mga disgruntled cupids. Pero I want more comedians. Yun. So, we hire Comedy Manila, Solid Okay, and meron kasi kaming TikTok activation eh. May TikTok kami. So, we recognize Pipay naman.
Right.
Na siya yung sa TikTok. So, yun. Identifying lang the right partners for the right project.
Right. I have to ask though, is there ever a moment where you're like, shocks, wait lang, baka this is too far, this is too crazy, diba? And then, I mean, the brands that you work with, like you mentioned nga naman that Netflix is a global giant, but they were willing to do this, but like all the other brands that you've worked with, like, wala bang time na parang, guys, teka lang, masyadong baliw ata yung concept na to, baka i-reject ng client, or
Bea, minsan baliktad. Minsan baliktad, Bea. Hindi nga, Jake, sabihin mo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, kasi, Bea, they've already sort of expected us to come up with really unconventional ideas. So, there was a time na may present kami, it was a pitch. Nanalo kami sa pitch. But after that, the client said, you know what, I think I need to see more Gigil in this. I want
seryoso.
to really go crazy about this. So we revised the whole storyboard. We revised the same storyboard that got us the pitch, that won us the pitch. So, yun na.
Mas crazy pa. Mas nakakabahan. Actually, kinakabahan kami pag-release nun eh. Hindi pa nire-release yun eh. Pero yung kliyente na humihingi,
sila na ang humingi.
kaya nga hindi kami nagbebenta eh. Sila na yung humihingi eh.
And ang maganda dyan, when they get calls from prospective clients, they call us up because of the past work that we've done, and sometimes they
Right.
say, can you do for us another RC ad or another Orocan ad? Of course, the answer is no, because hindi na yan mag-work if we do the same
Tama.
thing all over
Tama.
again, right? But you get the sense that there are a lot of clients are already brave enough to get into this and really go all out with the idea. Yeah.
Mga new breed of clients to, Bea. Yung
Oh.
Right.
mga nasa Gigil ngayon, yan yung siguro matutuwa kami. Kasi yung mga lumalapit na clients sa amin ngayon, sila yung naniniwala na kailangan nila ng braver output, no?
Mm.
Right.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
So this whole thing, na parang okay, especially when it comes to humor, like I mentioned kanina before your recording, parang it's very surreal. It kind of is Kafkaesque sometimes. But even more serious topics, like what does it mean for you as Filipino creatives in the advertising industry to have these kinds of clients who are not just open, but sometimes demand even more crazy or unique ideas from you guys over at Gigil?
I guess it can only like be good for us in
Right.
terms of proving the hypothesis that ideas do make a difference in business.
Right.
Because they allow us to come up with ideas that are noticeable, shareable, coverable by media, and so will move culture and move sales. One point, one example of this was our Levi's client as well. I mean, we're not just into comedy. I mean, that time, 2 years ago, Levi's was, of course, all about things American, but they wanted to be relevant in the Christmas season, so they wanted to be Filipino. They wanted us to
Right.
come up with a Filipino Levi's ad. Isn't
Right.
that isn't that like a zig when everybody's zagging or when they've been zagging? So they were
Right.
so brave. And so we accompanied their bravery and came up with an ad about, a father and a son and a denim jacket that won a gold in the APAC Effies, which is really like the Oscars of marketing effectiveness of advertising ideas. Uh, that made them sell well. Their outfit called the Levi Shop, where you can
Mhm.
embellish and put appliques on denims bought in store. So the clients having been brave and having allowed us to be brave with them actually demonstrated to themselves and to us and to Asia that brave ideas will result in brave results, brave metrics, and we can only be thankful to them that they're allowing us to do so, and in the same way, making them sell.
Okay, normally in this part of the interview, when I'm wrapping up, I ask my guests to promote their next work. Kaso parang hindi ata pwede yon sa advertising
Hindi
industry.
pa.
Na i-promote niyo yung upcoming work niyo. So ganito na lang. I'm sure Herbert is familiar with this because of Rappler Live Jam. If they want updates on Gigil's work, what sites, what accounts should they be following?
So just look for us on Facebook. We're Gigil Group. So just type it in and we're gonna be there. We've got a website as well, gigil.com.ph. We're on LinkedIn as well. Just look for Gigil, the Ideas Agency.
YouTube.
YouTube,
We have
definitely.
Gigil
Yeah,
TV. Yeah.
Gigil TV. Yeah.
Pero
Yeah.
abangan nila kasi ano nga eh, siguro embrace din nila yung high risk, high reward. Tignan niyo yung video namin sa YouTube about high risk, high reward. Kasi yun talaga yung yung DNA ng Gigil.
So thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Hindi na ako mag-extend kasi by the looks of it, you have another meeting right after this Zoom call. So thank you so much for being
Thanks,
on
Matt.
Rappler. Thanks for sharing your insights and what you've learned so far on Gigil. Thank you for watching Rappler Talk. Support the Filipino creative and support Filipino brands. This has been Bea Copil. You've been watching Rappler. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.